And we're live over here on LinkedIn and YouTube. And we are live, I believe, over here on Instagram land. This is the last of the sales series. If you want any more juicy tips, obviously I'll be posting content on LinkedIn and Instagram and possibly YouTube for more sales strategies. And especially when it's topics that are coming up consistently with my coaching clients, I want to share them here with y'all, right? Because this is where it all makes sense. This is where it all is happening. This is where it all will be moving forward. And yes, we are preparing for a hurricane. We have been prepared since yesterday. So I am doing this today. I'm hoping to be able to be back online no later than Friday, but power will probably be out sometime tonight and tomorrow. With that all said, we just keep doing the thing. We can have doubt, we can have fear, we can have worry, but that doesn't do anything. If anything, think of it as a rocking chair. It gives you something to do and gets you nowhere. Worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but gets you nowhere. It's like that busy work that's not productive. Ugh. Like I can see that, smell that, taste that from a mile away. And that's why I've been coined the name, efficiency queen. I've been a success slayer. I've been a mega happen mama. I've also been through burnout twice. This is why I have a whole nother topic and series I'm going to do on the pressure of life, the pressure from work, the pressure we put on ourselves, the pressure from our society, especially as a working mom, because I get to and I enjoy to do the things I love to do. So I don't want to get off topic because today we're talking all about elevating your sales game and the power of doubt. How do we take doubt and turn it into action? Well, it's skills. It's skills to do that. Most people who doubt something, it's going to require a lot more of you and your skills, a better quality question asking in order to move someone into action, especially when they really doubt something. It's also part of shifting someone's perception, right? Everybody is a meaning-making machine. I make things mean something. Somebody else makes something mean something. And what can clear that up without assumption is asking quality questions. And this is how you master sales. This is how you master your confidence in both business and life, because we use sales in everyday life. If your job title or role is not directly sales, I promise you this information will still be very helpful in your relationships and life. Now, what we're not talking about today, we're not talking about us as the closer, as the business owner, overcoming other people's objections. It's actually about helping them step into their highest authority and trusting their decision-making skills. And how many of you out there have been guilty that when you waver on making a decision, you're like, oh, should I do that? Should I not do that? And then you shoulda, coulda, woulda all over yourself. It's because you're not in your highest authority. So this is all part of decision mastery. This is all part of my Rise Up program, which stands for Radical Intentional Self-Expansion to Unleash Your Unlimited Potential. And it's the background to everything that I do and teach. It's the inner game to even money codes and sales codes and unlocking time. So if you want more information, meet me in the DMs on that. More than happy to share that with you. Your doubts, their doubts, whoever you're engaging conversation with, someone's doubting something, right? Let's just put that out there, right? They're doubting that they trust you. And maybe they're doing that because you're doubting that you even trust yourself and what you're saying. This is why the clarity has to come first. This is why the confidence has to also come first. But you get confidence by putting in the reps, right? Taking courage and applying consistent action to that will make you competent in something, but also allow your confidence to grow. Now, our doubts are not our enemies. Our doubts are not our enemies. They are just the comfort zone talking or screaming. Don't do that thing. It's not familiar. It's not safe. We're not used to it, right? So go ahead and just allow yourself to know that. And just know hey, this is my comfort. This is where I've been. This is what's familiar, but it's not where I want to remain. This is not where I want to stay. I'm here for something bigger. I desire more, and my desires are divine, and I deserve what I desire. This is the part where I had major breakthroughs with clients before they even pay me, because they're like, wow, you allowed me to see this in a way, and you held space for me in a way that nobody's ever done for me before. Not my best friend, not my parents, not my spouse. And it's scary, but it's also liberating. That's real freedom. Because what are we all here for? Time freedom. Money freedom helps with that, right? So I was just speaking with a client about her conviction and her offer. Again, conviction over convincing. If you don't believe me, go listen to another episode because I talk all about that. And she was lacking her conviction big time because of a circumstance. One thing was done or said, and she made that mean something. And it shifted all of her beliefs and conviction in her offer and her product and service. And she made it mean something bigger than it actually was. Her truth shifted to something else that wasn't even true. But she was making it mean true because that's what she was told. You guys, you have to trust yourself. It's your intuition. It's your higher emotional guidance system. It's the facts too. There are facts out there. Go fact check stuff before you believe what somebody else says. So what happened was she closed 4 clients. I think it was on a Thursday or a Friday. 5 days go by of taking phone calls, anywhere from 5 to 8 calls a day, 0 sales. How do you close 4 in one day and none for 5 days straight with a booked calendar? Her doubts, her conviction were affected by a circumstance. She gave all her power away to a circumstance. This is the power of belief. This is the power of doubts. If we allow them to have this much power, So when this happens to you or your clients, we're speaking from what's familiar, the current situation, most likely a challenge, obviously, that you're seeking support in overcoming, or a challenge your client is seeking you to be the support in overcoming the gap of where they are to where they want to be. And breaking through this overcoming, right? Overcoming the doubt, overcoming the objection, overcoming the block, overcoming what's really there in the way. So if you're a coach or you're a consultant, this should be very familiar to you because you were once that person with the same challenge, and now you have broken through, and now you're helping others do the same. So it was once your truth that you had a challenge, and then that truth of being stuck or challenged lasted months, years, decades, or maybe a lifetime if you haven't broken through. And this is what we have to be honest with our clients about. Like, how much longer are you going to allow this to cost you your happiness, your fulfillment, your joy, your time freedom, your money freedom? How much longer are you willing to allow that to cost you? And I know there's so many people like, why do you bring up cost? Because that's where the pain is or isn't. And if it's not costing you anything and you're quite okay with it, then quit trying to do all the things to fix the so-called challenge that really isn't a priority. Let's just be honest with ourselves. This is where I empower people with a no. Like, it's okay to say no. I want you to say no more, Neil. I want you to master decision-making that you know what a hell yes is and you know what a hell no is. And a hell no is just when it's not a hell yes. If it's not a full body yes, if it doesn't excite you and scare you a little bit, it's no. If it's not feeding and fueling your vision, it's a no. You're like, but how do I say no to this person I've said yes to every single time? You have a conversation. So when someone shares their doubts, that means they are aware, which is great. When someone shares their doubts, this means you can help them. They basically open the door. Here's my doubt. Come on in. Would you like to help me with this? Right? When someone's finally aware and they share their perception of why they're stuck in their situation, this is our opportunity to speak to them in a new way, to help them shift their perspective, help them be willing to do something different, right? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result is insanity. I've done it multiple times. I still catch myself doing it too. And then I'm like, what the heck am I doing? Right? I'm human. We're all human. But it takes a very courageous person to speak up and say the truth, not just when it's hard to say it, but when it's also even harder for someone to hear it. And it's our jobs as coaches, as consultants, as experts, as mentors, not just as closers, to shine the light on their blind spots where they're giving their power away to. Because remember, every single human has these 3 categories, right? These 3 categories are just part of our like little boxes, if you want to call it. And I don't like to live in a box. I'm that square peg that people try to put in the round hole. Not even right the round peg in the square hole, because it actually fits in the hole, right? So think about that. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And I'm a Taurus, right? So every beautiful human has these 3 compartments, let's call them. We know what we know, right? and I know everything that I know, and I'm very happy about the things I know. I own it. I own it. All right. And my husband knows, like, she knows something, she knows something. My clients, my own coaches and mentors, my colleagues. We also know what we don't know. Like, I know I don't know how to fly an airplane, and I'm quite okay with that. But I know I don't know how to fly one, right? It's okay. I'm humble about it. I don't know how to fly an airplane. And then there's the sweet spot where the breakthrough and expansions happen. This is the part where we look at, I don't know what I don't know. There are things that I don't know that I don't know yet. And I might not know the lifetime, which will be okay. But if I want to grow and expand into something bigger and better, and according to my vision, I have to. Well, I like to say I get to, don't have to, but because then I won't grow and expand, but I get to. And this is the danger zone if we don't, right? We're here to evolve and then die. So if we're not evolving, we're dying early. It's just the truth. And that's the tragedy of life. I'm getting ready to lead a talk about your return on life, like return on intention, your ROI just in life as a whole. And the tragedy of life is not death, but it's what dies inside us while we're living. And I had a lot of death when I was younger. I had very dear people I loved, like with all my heart. And a part of me died with those people when I was younger. But a part of them also lived on because of who they were in my life and how they impacted my life. And there's a whole nother topic on this, but I'm just sharing with you, like, again, this is doubt. This is the power we can give to doubt, is to really miss out if we allow it to. And that's the danger zone. If we don't recognize this and we don't understand that on the other side of that is freedom, on the other side of that is expansion, if we desire to do so. So it starts with awareness. When we're aware, then we can either be willing or not. So like even when I'm on a coaching call or even when I'm on a closing call, I can bring so much awareness to the table. And then that person has to be willing. And if they're not willing, it's my job to make sure I give them permission not to as well, right? I don't want them to regret saying yes. I don't want them to regret saying no. So if this is true for you as a professional or for you, your prospects or your clients, ask yourself these questions first. And then get really, really good at asking your clients these questions in relation to their desires, their goals, their challenges, and watch how things shift in their favor, which ultimately is in your favor. And whether they say yes or no, you still sleep good at night. This is taking the ick and the slime out of sales. So imagine, what if transformation became the new safe, the new familiar? What if we got so comfortable with being uncomfortable with transformation and change that it was the new familiar and the body was like, this is home, this is familiar, this is safe. Our nervous system would love that, right? If something feels familiar and safe, our nervous system is happy. When the only thing holding you back is the fear of the unknown. Think about that. Remember we just talked about, you're allowing the fear of the unknown to stop you, but everything you desire, everything that's possible, all your possibilities, potentiality is in that space of the unknown. That's kind of cool, right? Because if you already knew it, you would already be doing it. You'd have already experienced it. You've already actualized it. You've already checked the box and done, and then you do it again, or you wouldn't. And yet so many have experienced what you desire. And it's really the fear that's holding you back. Be honest with yourself. What you truly desire, there are probably thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people doing, experiencing, living what you're desiring. And the only thing holding you back is fear, limiting beliefs, doubts, old stories, right? So what if you worked the strategy? What if you pivoted? What if you did all of the things and did not quit? What would that look like? What would that feel like? And just imagine playing in that space of possibility and abundance. And if that's hard for you, lean into the gratitude. What would be happening? What would you be experiencing that would put you in a place of gratitude, saying, I am so thankful now that this happened, I did this person supported me, clients were doing these things, results were so wicked, crazy, cool, and happening on autopilot, referrals were flowing in so effortlessly. And there was a generous amount of overflow that I was able to do with my time, my money, my resources, my ventures, all the things. And now let's think back to sales. I'm kind of flying through this because you can go back and write these down and then sit and do the work, integrate. Don't just be activated by this. Like, go and ask yourself these questions, block some time, put on some soft music or binaural beats and do the work. It doesn't work unless you work it, right? So when we go back to sales, helping them overcome their objections, their current perceptions, which are limited based on what they know up until now and their circumstances and situations that they've been giving their power away to. These are the blocks. And this is where it's our responsibility to be honest with them, to share the truth when it's not only hard to say and your voice squeaks like a 13-year-old, but it's also hard for them to hear. So it's helping them shift that perception into their highest authority and being confident in their decisions and not just tiptoeing around and delaying what's possible. Because if they say no, that's what's going to happen. Their doubts are a good thing. And their doubts means that they are aware. And it's our job to know and to share with them what it's costing them, how it's holding them back, and more importantly, to shine that light on their area of resistance and then shining the light on what's possible. Because doubts are a false sense of what's safe. Only because it's familiar. And what's familiar is predictable. And what's predictable feels safe because we can prepare for it, like this hurricane that's coming, right? But what if the transformation was the safe, new, familiar? So I'm going to kind of wrap this up here because these are some more questions to ask yourself. Why and what have you been doubting in your business and your personal life? Where do you have some cleanup to do? Because this is showing up on your sales calls. I guarantee it 1,000%. When I do sales coaching, it's incredible to see how much I have to bring in my Rise Up coaching and to sales codes and into my high ticket closer one-on-one bespoke program, because I ask them some questions and we go through some KPIs and I go, okay, now where's your mind been? What have you been dealing with lately? And this is pouring over into your work, because how we do anything is how we do everything. That's again for another topic. I will make a note, because all the strategies out there work. All the sales tactics, especially the ones that are not slimy, by the way, or icky, work. All the structures out there work if we don't quit. It's the lack of action. That's the only reason, the lack of, I guess I should say, consistent action on why things don't work. Because if you knew that they worked, because you have so much proof out there that other people are doing the thing and it works, and you just haven't pivoted or reset or customized or found the other way that you want to do the damn thing, why? Why? What's really holding you back? So it's not time to stop doubting per se, because you can't stop doubting, just like you can't stop fearing, just like you can't stop the things that are on autopilot. Circumstances, situations are going to happen to you, for you, all the time. And it's your job to embrace it as a spotlight. It's like imposter syndrome. It's actually a really good thing. when imposter syndrome shows up, I'm like, oh, why do I need to do the work again? Or maybe it's an area for the first time ever. So it's not just stop the thing, don't stop the fear or the doubt or the imposter syndrome. It's shine the spotlight, take action, do the inner work, and do the thing anyways. I had every excuse in the world today not to pop up and go live and not to record this podcast today. But I also had every reason to go ahead and do the damn thing. Check the box because it feels good. So doubts are a good thing to hear. Are you listening for them? Are you asking questions to dig them out of the person, including yourself, to help shift and overcome the obstacle, overcome the doubt, the fear, the objection, the worry, the circumstance, the perception, shifting the perception into one that's of their highest authority, one that they can be confident in, one that they know that if I shift even how I make decisions, my life will drastically change. We are a product. Our experiences are a product of every decision we make every day. From when we decide to wake up, to what we wear, to when we brush our teeth, to I mean, again, how we do anything is how we do everything. And so, how are you allowing this to be in effect of your life? Is it a strategy that you allow to happen and you're very aware of it? Or are you living by default in old circumstances and old paradigms and you're just blaming and shaming everything else, including yourself? So, if you want to learn more about helping yourself overcome this, because you can see now very clearly how this is not working out in your favor for you or your clients, message me. If you also want to know how to do this as more of a structured sales operations of your teams and your clients and your coaching calls, message me. Sales codes is coming out very, very soon. There might be a little bit of delay because I was supposed to be recording all week and I haven't been. So transparency there. But DM me. I'm going to put people out there on an exclusive opportunity to have access to sales codes before it's released to the public at a very exclusive investment. So that is something you are interested in. Let me know. I'll make sure you're there. And again, as always, my DMs are always open. My DMs are always open. I just had a lady this morning on LinkedIn. She's in sales. Actually, the crazy thing is, I don't want to give it away, but she's too cool. We have the exact same name. Like, she's like, hey, I saw that you looked me up on LinkedIn. And I'm like, yeah, I was Googling myself and you popped up. So, no, awesome. And I go, again, I don't want to assume, but it looks like you had my name before I did. Right? I married into my name. I think hers was her maiden name. But she was also struggling. She's like, I'm older. I feel like there's discrimination against my age and the industry and what I want to do in my career still. And I'm like, well, if you believe that, you'll find more evidence and proof of that. That's a doubt, that's a worry, that's a fear. But I can tell you it's not true. I can't tell you that I was feeling that way in my 40s because I'm in the online space. Even when I was in my early 30s, I was old on teams of young 20-something-year-olds crushing it, making millions, multiple seven figures. And here I am, the 30-something-year-old grandma on the team. And I can tell you that I let those doubts come in. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to work with this company? Do they even want something like me? Blah, blah, blah. All this nonsense. It's all limiting beliefs and blocks. And now I look now, I'm 43. Like, I will never age out of my experience. If anything, I'm just getting better and better. And they'd be lucky to have me on their team. Because when they get me, they get all of me, not just my experience in high ticket sales. They get my inner game coaching. They get my attention to detail and helping them like look over a quick sales page before it goes out and be like, why is the location last event's location and not the current location? You're going to confuse the heck out of people. They're going to book flights and end up in a whole different state, right? Things like that. So I'm going to leave you with so much love. Again, sales codes is coming out here in October, maybe early November. It's definitely happening this fall. And if you want to jump on that, please do. If you're looking for the Power of the Reset journal prompts, there's 7 prompts that will help with this, especially in resetting and pivoting when you're growing through your doubts, your worries, your fears, going to next level for you and your clients. Grab that, snag that. The link's also in the show notes for any of these episodes. And then lastly, sending off so much love. If you're in the danger zone of the hurricane, praying for you, stay safe. If you should have been evacuated by now, please don't wait till the last minute and get out. We are hunkering down because we are close by. So we're all good. We have our generators ready and we're in Orlando. So we should be good. We're probably going to lose power, but that's the only downside. Just a little nervous about the water because there are a lot of homes in our area that could be flooded. And that's a trauma. That's things that is a legit worry or fear, but you can prepare. Like, it's not like a tornado that just comes down and takes over. It's like the hurricane is coming. We can prepare. We can make good decisions and move forward, right? So I'm going to leave you all with that. Have a great rest of your day and bye for now.